Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, well, God gave us brains to work out complex problems. However, this man uses it to create more. He's my co-host, Mr. Taylor.
Oh, yes, indeed. Let's create more problems like we haven't got enough.
Oh, money, oh, problems.
That's it.
Anyway, thank you and welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Calm down. Thank you and joining us for another mind-bending episode. Ooh. Spellbinding even.
Oh, yeah.
Mystical.
I like it.
Whether you're a new listener or a repeat offender,
keep offending.
Welcome along. It's always good to have you here over at NASA HQ. On this week's episode, we've got a pretty interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor kind of come to me and went, I really think we should do this as a topic. And, because it just covers everything. This week we're going to be talking about California's Mount Shasta.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know, it's like, when I say Shasta, it reminds me of a Simpsons episode where he's like, I like Shasta because she likes making bacon on the beach.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
Bacon. Anyway, Mount Shasta is subject of a lot of unusual myths and legends.
Oh, yeah.
From Bigfoot sightings to Native American urban legends, UFOs, and even missing persons. But one story does stand out. Lemuria, which is a secret city underneath the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Some stories the city's no longer inhabited, and some it's inhabited and full of rich in technological advancements, as well as a technologically advanced species of human, supposedly, and mythical creatures.
Yeah, oh yeah, weird.
Well, we'll be going into it all a bit later on in the show.
We will.
It's a lot to go into, to be honest. I think it's a pretty interesting topic. I'm sure you'll agree. But I think we've got a few bits to talk about before we get into that. Like I say, that's coming up shortly in the show, plus this week's random events and the news.
Oh, yeah.
What have you been up to this week, Taylor? We've not seen you for a week. We had a week off.
Yeah, we did.
If you missed us, sorry about that.
Yeah.
We're back.
Hello. We are back. We are.
Hello.
I've been mostly looking into law again.
You've just not stopped.
I know.
He's going to bore us with. I need some theme music, like a little Jeopardy theme song or something for you.
Yeah, He's going to talk a series of what laws we're actually.
Taylor talks law.
Yeah, and odd bullshit. But there's been.
How are your civil liberties being taken advantage of, Taylor? We'll get you a YouTube channel. We'll sort it out.
Yeah, we need.
Should we
do
that?
Something.
We'll do that.
Yeah,
with the halls of justice.
Well, let's see if the viewers would want that. If you do, send us a message.
It'll be like Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Judge Taylor.
I'd do that. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Don't fuck about in Judge T's courtroom. Anyway, so what laws have you been looking into?
Oh, civil laws, the laws with your council and how to progress through there to actually
get what you want. Get them to pick your bins up more efficiently.
Well, yeah, there's an idea around.
Come and pick up that wardrobe that's been on the corner for a week.
Hey, yeah, you never know. But there's an idea that's been around about getting rid of your normal council and bringing in civilians.
Oh, I like that.
Who actually will do the job.
Like
and
community leaders? Sort of like a panel, like a committee?
They're calling them...
community committee meetings?
Assemblies, put an assembly together.
Yeah.
Have a meeting, basically.
But then again, isn't that going to just be like? But isn't a lot of that going to be falling onto one person, like a group leader, somebody who's going? Because
you have a council.
Well, the problem is when you have like groups of people and they've all got an opinion, they all want to express their opinion. So you need a spokesperson to be able to go to the one guy and say, "Well, I want you to bring up this and make sure this is talked about and." We need this sorting out. So,
and then that's supposed to be what your MP does.
But that's what I'm saying. That's it. It just I mean, the problem with like kind of breaking down the current platform of kind of like politics and system is the next one that comes along is eerily similar. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and it just ends up playing out exactly the same. And this is why revolutions happen and why the new system comes in, and then someone else down the line's got a problem with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always that.
Well, if you have a collective problem, like you don't want
a problem,
council to do something like these 15-minute cities, then all you then basically get them together, ask them the question, vote for it, majority rules. Then you can vote for an assembly.
This is the thing, though, as well. It starts getting into what's legal in one town to what's legal in another town. Yeah. So your laws drastically change, where you can go, no, I was over the state line or the town line, so I'm able to do this legally because they say it's okay.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
I suppose
the laws.
And that,
I mean, your obvious ones, your murder. You know,
standard common law,
thievery, common law. That should stand, but it does blur the lines slightly. Yeah. So I mean, for ease of kind of knowing what's what and knowing what the law is, I feel like that's probably not the best idea. As long as, I mean, for decision making, not for law making. Then that's a different thing, because, like I say, I mean, unless it's like if it's just something like, you know. Whether the local park's going to get done up for the kids or whatever, or over, you know, is you know, thieving your neighbour's Lamborghini a crime?
Oh well, that comes under common law, so you can do people for that as well. I mean, you can do your own court as well.
Kangaroo court.
Yeah, all you need is 300, 600 or 900 people together, and you can actually go into the council and do your own court.
Really? So we're taking over court today. I've got a problem. My neighbour owes me a tenner.
Yeah.
And then it's like everybody. I've got all these people here.
I just found out I can actually write a letter to any of the councils in.
You know, he says this.
Country.
Yeah, but if anybody out there tried it, we just get arrested.
These have been. Some of these have been tried and effective, but it's being kept. A lot of people have tried this stuff and didn't realise that there was another part of it, or they've misinterpreted a word or two, and it messes things up. I just found out I could send a letter to the council and say, any picture that you have of me, you can take off.
You're
and
a
it's
Kevin.
Legally binding as well.
You're like a Kevin, aren't you? Like a Karen or whatever. Like, I demand speak to your manager.
No,
I want all the photographic evidence of me off your surveillance systems.
I just realised that they're businesses. They're not. The government is a business.
Of course, yeah,
all of them are businesses. So I'm starting to utilise that you're a business. I don't necessarily need you. You don't necessarily have the right to need me.
It's not like you can go online and go to one of these, like, council thingy services, where you can kind of like do a comparison, like, and go, I'm going to swap providers. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're a business. It's not like you can go to a different council and say, I'm going to take up your services because your services are slightly better than ours.
Well, no, but if I don't necessarily need to work with them, I don't have to work with them.
But if you choose to live in the borough that council operates, then you do.
Yeah, and I can choose to change that council as well.
Let's see.
There's a lot of things.
I'm not sure.
You'd
have to move house, I think, in that case.
Well, I'd have issues. No doubt.
Would. It's been 420.
It has, yes.
Happy 420, everybody.
420, everyone,
yeah, we're a bit late on that one, but is 420 the bigger deal as it used to be?
I don't know. I don't think
because
it is.
I only found out the whole idea of 420 was like, if you don't know, celebrating cannabis culture.
Yeah.
In places where it wasn't legal, protests and legalization rallies and stuff like that would break out.
Yeah.
And most police would kind of let you get on with it and not really hassle
as long as you ain't being a
as long
dickhead.
as you're not causing any issues,
And you're usually not a dickhead if you're
But do you think because now, like, a lot of the laws have relaxed in a lot of the world, around the world, that, like, people don't kind of feel the need to go out and do the protests and the rallies? Because it's like, no, we've got what we want now in a lot of places.
Well, they say rules are there to be broken.
Well,
you
true.
know what I mean? And if you can't break it and they're being lenient.
Well, I think that should be more of a cause for celebration. And, in Manchester, there used to be a big celebration in Platfields Park.
Yeah,
and I believe that it was, like, very minimal this year. Yeah. And, like, for the last couple of years. So, whoever organises that, pull your finger out.
Yeah. Yeah,
I want to see a good.
sorted
I want to
out,
see a
yeah.
good 420 next year, please.
I hope.
Also, we've seen the UK emergency alarm.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we get this elsewhere around the world, but we recently got a text message. Everybody in the UK got a text message saying...
I didn't even read it. I just went, okay.
Well, yeah, because it said from the government. It's like, oh, my old friend, the government. Then what they texted me for today? Well, it was to notify you that on Sunday the 23rd of the 4th, that there was going to be an emergency test of their new emergency alarm system, So everybody's phones would just start... an alarm. Nobody knew what really to expect, really, did we? It's been a lot of kind of people going these ways you can turn this off.
Yeah.
Because there was people saying, no, well, basically the text message that I got originally says that even if you turn your notifications off or turn your phone on silent, the phone will still activate and send you this alarm. So there was a lot of people going around saying that you could turn it off through some settings. I couldn't find it, so my phone just started whirring at like 3 o'clock. I'm interested to find out whether that worked for people. So if you had the emergency alarm setting turned off, did it still go off? Did you still get a notification or a text message or something? Let us know. Interested.
Not only that, did you actually get one? Because
I did.
A report 3 hours ago from the BBC was saying the actual test failed because a lot of people didn't get it, that were looking for it but did not get it.
They wanted to be notified of a pending
they wanted
doom.
to see that little fucking screen red.
I mean, like, the idea, I always thought this years ago, thinking, like, during the Second World War, there was the Blitz, and, there'd be air raid sirens, and if they were, that was a good indication that there was trouble on the horizon.
In the bunkers.
There was trouble brewing,
boys,
and you had to get down to the bunker, get under your Anderson shelter, or your Morrison shelter,
metal hat on.
Eating
some cold beans.
Turn that light out. Loose lips sink ships.
That's it.
All that, right? I often thought, is there something like that still in place in case of, like, trouble?
I think big cities.
In big cities, I would imagine in the city centres, but not more in the rural areas. So, is this a good idea? I would be interested to know what the listeners think on whether you got the alarm if you were expecting it or not, as well as what your opinions on it. What do you think it's for? Do you think we're going to be using it sooner rather than later? I don't know. We'll see what happens, won't we?
I think they're going to be using it for frightening people, basically.
Frightening people. Booger, booger, booger.
Yeah, keep people off the scent, of what they're
like
actually
personalised messages to you, going like, I know what you did last summer. Type thing. Anyway, well, moving on with the episode. This week we're going to be talking about Mount Shasta. But there is one book that we were looking at on the topic, and pretty interesting stuff. But I'm trying to remember what it's called now.
I remember. I didn't write it down.
Oh, I
like
did.
A fool.
I did. Don't worry, it's here somewhere.
Got it.
It's called An Earth Dweller Returns. Right. And basically, if you want to check it out, you could probably get it on Audible.
Yeah, I should imagine so. They've got all the big hitters out there and all the small ones too.
Yeah, man, Audible is a great way to listen to audiobooks on the go. You can get a wide range of titles, and it's a great way for new customers to try audiobooks and make the most of every moment. With their free trial, customers will receive one free audiobook of their choice to keep, even if you cancel, and Prime customers will receive 2.
Oh, nice.
It's a good little deal. Like I say, when there's books like this on the shelf, then, it means you've got something to listen to on the bus, on that commute. You can download and listen to the world's largest storytelling selection, enjoy audiobooks, original series and more on your free app. It's awesome. For 30 days free trial, cancel it, keep your books. It's amazing. And like I say, if you want to check that out, it's An Earth Dweller's Return, which was I do apologise. The Earth Dweller's Return is the follow-up 2.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one. It's a dweller of 2 planets.
Yes.
Is the book.
Yes.
But both of them available.
Yeah.
By Frederick Spencer Oliver.
Worth out checking, seeing what the little changes as well, like, you know, because you will get changes in each one.
Yeah, well, definitely in sequels.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
interesting stuff. I will leave a link in the description. The story itself, Mount Shasta, when you were talking about it, you were talking about there was a story like the missing 411.
Yes, yeah.
And I think we've mentioned this story in the past about like young people. I think there was a young lad.
Yeah.
Who
19, I think it was 38. Went basically disappearing.
Is it the Pine Barrens? Because is that the area? Because I swear it was like David Paulides did the book Missing 411, didn't he? And he was talking about like loggers and stuff, as I remember.
Yeah.
And
hunters,
people walking around this wilderness and suddenly going missing. This was located near Mount Shasta. So, it was quite a prolific area for weird shit happening.
Big forest area, and that's where a lot of missing seem to be.
So, there was one particular story that, like I say, we brought up, and it was a child who was out camping with his parents. I think they owned a cabin or something quite close.
Yeah.
And they were marking out the borders of their plot.
Yeah.
As you would, keep the riffraff out.
That's how you got your size of your finger. You just marked it out yourself.
So he'd, obviously been keeping an eye on his young lad, and then turned around. He was there 1 minute.
Yeah.
Turned around again, and he's gone.
Disappeared.
Yeah. There was no sort of explanation for how this child had disappeared, but he'd had a bit of an amazing story to tell when he did turn up. So his recollection of it was he blacked out and woke up in a cave, right? When he woke up in the cave, he was with his grandmother, but what he said was it wasn't really his grandmother, it was an evil robot version of his grandmother.
Oh, evil as well.
And she wanted him to, like do number 2's defecate on this piece of sheet, on this piece of paper, but he was like, I'm not sure, I don't know why you're asking me to do this, I don't need to go,
go, you must go potty,
go number 2's now. And she's like getting really worked up, like, and angry at him.
Red eye.
So he couldn't make any sense of this. I don't know how he escaped this, this evil robot granny. But when he came back and regaled the story, it turned out that his gran actually had a bit of an experience herself, right? She said that she kind of blacked out, and when she woke up, she had a weird mark on her neck. So whether she'd been sort of, used as a vessel, or sort of like mind control, or abducted, any of these things, remains to be seen, doesn't it? But it is a bit of a crazy phenomenon that happened, around the national park, forests there in California.
Crazy stories around there.
So other incidents that have happened around there, Bigfoot.
Yeah, quite a lot of Bigfoot. Yeah.
So Bigfoot's just an urban sort of legend that's been sort of perpetuated for so long now. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Do you think Bigfoots are real?
I think another form of supposedly us and apes between is hanging around.
The missing link.
Yeah, a certain missing link. Yeah.
Well, why do you think that they've not been discovered yet? Why do you think that if Bigfoots are so kind of like elusive, but they must be there must be multiple of them, because they're still around, apparently. Do you know what I mean?
Don't forget, there's a lot of places out there still that we haven't visited, and there are a lot of places out there that no one really hangs around. You get the odd, hunter, or the odd, campers who are going out anywhere. But, so they've got massive open, and all they have to do is avoid us. And most animals do anyway. You know what I mean? So it's a case of, they're just good at sneaking around, good at hide and seek.
There was actually I was trying to find it now, but it was is it the James Patterson footage, or is it James?
Oh yeah, of the
Richard is it Richard Patterson? I think it was
remember.
Richard Patterson potentially. The Bigfoot footage,
Yeah.
really famous.
Yeah.
This has been kind of carrying on the legend for like over 50 years now. Do you know the fact that this footage exists?
This footage hasn't been dismissed, but it ain't been approved either. So it's still in that unknown area.
Well, the unknown area, it's not an unknown area because it is actually the area that surrounds the mountain.
Yeah, no, I mean within the picture. Is it real? Isn't it? There's no proof that it's fake, but there's no proof that it's true as well because of the picture as well.
What the video footage?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've just tried to find out his first name because I know it's Patterson, but I was like, do you know what? What's his first name? Is it Richard? I just wanted to know for my own peace of mind.
Yeah.
And then literally everything comes up just the Patterson footage doesn't mention his first name at all. So never mind. I'm pretty sure that's what he's called. He
didn't want to be identified by his first name.
He does. I've seen his name loads of times, but
yeah.
Anyway,
might be getting shy.
What other stories have you heard about Mount Shasta that you thought were quite interesting?
There's a video apparently of a white object above the mountain where that actually you can see it change form. It looks like a sheep, but then it like goes into like into a saucer shape.
Well, I've heard things about like anomalies from the locals. Say that they've seen like light, strange lights from the top of the mountain and from the the summit. Lights that you couldn't generate, especially from back in the day when these first reports started coming out. The means of generating
that much
light
power.
of that power wasn't available.
No.
So they were very kind of curious to what it was. One individual seen the lights and he was so curious he wanted to investigate it.
Yeah.
He went to the locals and they said that it was beings who lived on the mountains. They'd see them dressed in white and they'd do rituals in the morning and the evening.
Ooh,
and we'll go into this in a minute because like these rituals, I've got questions about them, but there's been quite a lot of different paranormal and kind of otherworldly phenomenon that's happened around the mountain. These urban legends from the Native Americans about the mountain as being a holy spiritual place.
Well, yeah, apparently four different Native American tribes lived on each side. Like north, the north was the worst of the area supposedly, but then you have a tribe in the south, west, and the east, and they all seem to have the sort of same story as well. It seems to they are close together and they could talk, but I think.
Well, yeah, I suppose there would have been some sort of communication, but
but not much deep in communication into probably. Because it almost goes into religious form.
Right, okay.
Really, that I believe this, I believe that. And so if one tribe is and another tribe is, then they must be seeing the same thing to make them
them assumptions, of course.
Not just have a little chat and go, oh, well, have you seen this?
The interesting thing, before we get into the juice of this Mount Shasta stuff, is there's there's a lot of UFO stuff. Right, yeah. But then these Bigfoots, there's missing people. Yeah. Do you think all these things could tie together in any way?
Because if you think about it, there's not just this place like that. I mean, Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah,
Skinwalker
I knew you were kind of
Ranch,
going to go Skinwalker.
And there's other places around the world. So there is definitely weird stuff going on in certain areas, and there's got to be something there to actually bring a kind of technology or power or aliens or, you know, some kind of.
Well, I've got
source.
a theory, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you this story, and then I'll see what you think about this, right?
Go for a second.
So, like I said, the book, The Dweller of the Two Planets, right, was a book written by Frederick Spencer Oliver, who was born in 1866. The book was finished in 1886, and then the manuscript was typewritten up, right, and then copyrighted again in 1899, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't published initially. The book itself was so far out that nobody knew what to do with it at first.
Toilet paper, baby.
The reason why it was so far out is because Frederick was basically, again, he was living in a cabin, which was just at the base of Mount Shasta, right? Again, he was working on the land. He was checking out, like, working around the borders of his land, doing some farming, doing whatever he was doing, and his hands started to shake suddenly. He was getting, like, kind of uncontrollable, sort of like he was having a fit. Yeah, like an epileptic fit or something like that. And, you know, he's working away, so he's got his notebook out, and all of a sudden he starts uncontrollably writing what appears to be words. He's almost like spirit writing. We've seen it before in when mediums do it, where they start, you know, like free writing, where they just let the hand write, and
there's tests out. You can do it.
You know, you can do it. Most people can do it, and it kind of like supposed to let out deep sort of thoughts and kind of things that you've not contemplated. But in this case, he seemed to be channeling somebody or channeling something that was using Frederick as a vessel to communicate.
Because he stopped writing himself, but then his mother got him to get writing again.
He got home and he was like freaked out by it. He wanted to kind of like, he couldn't work out what was going on. You know, he's shown his mother what was going on in the book and what he'd written, and his mum was like, here's some more paper. Crack on,
son, write me a novel.
So he was writing, and he'd get these kind of experiences where he'd start shaking, stop shaking, and over the period of 3 years, he completed what would be the book, The Dweller of Two Planets, right? So he claims the book was channeled through him via this automatic writing, and used as, you know, a method of dictation, by a spirit who would reveal himself as Philo, which is Phylos, Philos, and Philos, who basically told him this story, and you know, it became the book. So
sort of it Nostradamus.
Well, it is a little because the book itself, it describes a place, a place that would be kind of way before its time, or way before its time, because like obviously this is the 1800s or the back end of the 1800s, and things like television, communication, you know, air travel to the extent that we've got it today, you know. Crystal communication, just lots and lots of different technologies that we take for granted these days, but were talked about in this book, right? Things that we could only, you know, imagine were being discussed or being recognised for what they do.
A bit like Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, but this was kind of like, you know, imagine Leonardo da Vinci go into this place and then coming back and going, oh, check what I've invented. To us, we'd be like, that's so amazing. Perhaps he did go and visit one of these cultures, got all these ideas, and was able to come back with them and then present them to us in a way that it's like, or maybe just got just enough to have a glance at it, which sparked the idea of how we could recreate it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of connection of these intelligent, like, you know, brainy people and like that back then is considered weird, but now genius. That the connection between them all, there has to be some kind of I don't know, even if it come down to the DNA.
What do you think if these geniuses might be like one of the hybrids potentially?
Potentially, but I weren't going in that way, real. But I was going in the way of kind of in that way, but as born naturally, but then somehow being given the gift of forefoot, and stuff like that.
One of the things that was talked about in the book was a lost continent.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you were bringing up Atlantis, right? Yeah. And Phylos says, he was descendant from the Atlantans.
Yes,
but also talks about this lost continent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it's only called Lemos, or whatever it's called. What is it called? It's got a crazy name. Lemuria, yeah, right. And the Lemurians, right, because of the discovery of, like, humanity, and we discover things and we rename things, right? So potentially this was Atlantis, right? Because he talks about this lost continent that we call Lemuria, that sank, right? And it was between... Well, was it because of a war? Because I think it might have been continental drift, because this Lemuria, right, was between America and Indias, right? And it sank.
Hawaii.
Hawaii's off America. So there's that bit. It was between two other major continents, and it sank, right? Dividing the world, right? And this is what they were getting at, because Lemurians, they said that Lemuria was inhabitants of these native people, but also lemurs, because they're only native to certain parts of the world, but they think that they found like evidence of him in the ocean between the continents, right, or something like that, So potentially this is why they've given the Lemurian name, right? But that obviously lends a bit of credence to maybe there was a potential continent that was like, went down under the ocean.
Oh yeah, I reckon there's been quite a lot, because don't forget there was more than Pangea. Pangea was the whole crust together, but then it has been split apart, brought together again, split apart, and brought together again over the millions of years.
Modern science has basically dismissed Lemuria as a concept altogether, really. But, there was... in 2013, there was geologists who discovered evidence of a lost continent, basically where Lemuria was said to be. So there could be some truth in it. The book states that once the continent actually went underwater, that these guys, the Lemurians, right, fled to Mount Shasta, found a way into the mountain and set up this colony or this civilization within the mountain. So it's said to be one of the most advanced civilizations. They was using crystal energy, crystal engines. So this light that these people, the natives and the local people might have saw, was crystals that was reflecting light. It was all different colours. It was kind of bright colours that they couldn't, they'd never seen. Potentially, how prisms work. Could it be something like that?
Yeah, possibly, because if the mountain's got a lot of crystal in it, and especially if there's been like little eruptions and you rub crystal together, you can create little shines of power.
Oh, little shines of power, eh?
So you got little lights.
That's true. It's quite interesting. The fact that these guys said that, they tunneled beneath the mountain and said, to have created this civilization. Could it be true? I mean, Frederick Spencer obviously got the information from somewhere, but this book ended up going on to become the basis of a lot of different movements, a lot of different cults.
Yeah, even today.
Even to today, yeah. I mean, even like in popular culture, if you played Grand Theft Auto, there's the Mount Chiliad conspiracy, and it's supposed to be based on the Mount Shasta stuff. That people flock to Mount Shasta to hopefully meet the Lemurians and maybe get imparted some sort of great wisdom or something.
But we've got to be careful because some people do still go missing still to this day.
Like I say, this book was published in like 1890, but in 1931, Harvey Spencer Lewis wrote a book, which was kind of like seen as a bit of a sequel to it, about the Lemurians and Mount Shasta, and it was like a sorry, I can't talk. It basically talks about the legend, and it gained momentum and popularity, and this belief basically become the basis of numerous religions, including the I Am movement, the Summit Lighthouse, the Church Universal and Triumphant, Lovers One, and Cryon.
Okay, no.
So all these movements sprung up because of this book. Yeah, right. Then in I think when was this? So 1904. Yeah, there was a guy who went out looking. Yeah. He was kind of like doing expeditions around the mountain and stuff like that. But according to the legend, J.C. Brown, who was a British prospector, discovered the lost city. Right. He was supposedly found the tunnel entrance.
Yeah, and went down it, and he was for miles. He went miles
and miles, right? But when he said he got down there, he found loads of riches, loads of coins, loads of gold statues, so much wealth that he couldn't work out how he was going to even get it out or anything. So
I would have still taken.
I wasn't sure because like there was one story I saw where they said that he filled a backpack, or as much as he could carry.
Definitely did that.
But then when he went back to London, he was like trying to, trying to find investment for another exhibition.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it was almost like he was trying to raise money for it. So wouldn't you have taken a backpack full of the gold to finance your next expedition?
Hell yeah.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right. So he's not done that by the sounds of it. Or if he has took it, he's took it and thought, I'm not going to get rid of this because it's archaeologically significant. Maybe. I don't know.
He could have.
Maybe he was absolute full of shit. Yeah, he might have been full of shit. Well, he might have. But he actually didn't. He did arrange to go on another expedition with 80 men. Yeah, he needed 80 men because he was that much gold and treasure that he'd need 80 men to carry it all back.
That's
right?
a lot of men.
It's a lot of men, right?
To just trust.
Oh God,
that shit.
You would get one that's going to be a bit mutinous, and you're fucked, aren't you? Basically. Well,
fucking hell.
It was all right because J.C. Brown just disappeared. Yeah, which meant there was nobody to lead them to the tunnel or the riches. Yeah, right. A lot of people questioned whether that kind of supports the hoaxness of his claims, like whether he was legit and whether he was telling the truth or not. But
no one's ever found the.
No one could. No one. Well, as far as I'm aware. One person claims to have found it.
Oh yeah.
But one thing he said was in there was mummies.
Yeah.
There was going to be mummies in there. But then, who knows? I mean, like, he told the story years later to a guy called John C. Root, who basically, he planned to do an exhibition up there, but the team was set off. Brown didn't show up. This is the team that didn't show up. Brown didn't show up, and he was never heard from again. Yeah.
So he set up the team, he was already prepared, and he didn't turn up on the date.
Yeah, but that's it. Most people were like, "Oh, he's talking shit." But whether they found it again or not is another case. I think somebody did claim to have find it and did say that they found it and it was empty and there were just vast tunnels and rooms and stuff like that, but there was nobody inhabiting it. And then there's other people who've said that they've found it and there was treasure. So there's a couple of different versions of the story.
I've heard that someone's gone down there as well, and they got spooked by something down there.
Well, again, I've heard of another story where somebody got in and they actually met the Lemurians and were shown. In fact, I tell a lie, it was Spencer Oliver, right? Frederick Spencer Oliver, who said that he had visited Lemuria through astral projection, and he'd witnessed all manner of technologies, cigar-shaped flying machines.
Yeah, did he go to Venus or something?
No, I think that was somebody else.
Oh, right.
But yeah, cigar-shaped flying machines.
Yeah.
Like people living in peace, and kind of they've grasped this enlightened lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay.
And
sounds like a nice place.
It's almost like this message was to try and encourage us to kind of join them in this enlightened way of thinking and not go to war every 5 minutes and whatnot.
It's actually funny you should say that, because a lot of abductees, when they get abducted, they try and communicate with whatever's out there.
Well, he seems to think that they were communicating through him. He had no choice in the matter, and he was used as a medium, of a vessel of getting this message across.
Yeah, but there's a lot of abductees state that they've got a peace, a kind of peace feeling all over them. That
interesting, because we'll talk about something in the news. I've got a story that actually goes into that, so yeah, we'll definitely talk about it. So I mean, there's, like I say, this Mount Shasta thing, there seems to be something. We've talked about mountains before. What was it, Dolce Mountain, Dolce Base. It does seem to be kind of like, a lot of mystery within mountains. Mount Shasta's an active volcano, so the idea that there could be some sort of void space within it, it's plausible.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I feel like that could be a winner.
I did hear about someone who went travelling up there and ended up, the weather went, within seconds the weather had changed, and there was a deep fog that come out of the forest. He saw 2 deer run across in front of him. One of them got across the road, the other one didn't, and got in the middle of the road and fell down. And then this mist kind of woven over it, and then it disappeared. And then the mist just nice and slowly went off. So he told this story to a couple of his friends. His friends went, "Well, we're going up there." So they basically followed the same path. Went a little further, and there was like a dead end. They were on like a ridge, but they had like holes in like these mountains. So they've gotten out of the vehicle, and all of a sudden this massive bat thing, bat human.
Oh,
that,
right.
Like it was fast. It was like flick of eye. It was just so fast. They couldn't believe how fast this item, this
item. They're flying off the shelves.
It was an item at first.
This year's Christmas toy of the year.
It was an item until they got a really good look at it, and they said like it was humanoid. It
was Bigfoot.
Bat face though.
Oh, right.
Face. One of them even stood and looked it face to face for a long while. It could picture the actual face of it.
Well, there you go.
It flew off to the tree.
Just in case we get any finger hassle, and comments. It was Roger Patterson and the Bigfoot, Bigfoot footage. Maybe Rog could have got some footage of the bat-faced creature as well.
Roger the Dodger, innit?
Rog. Good on you, Roger. 50 years of keeping the Bigfoot mystery alive.
Oh yeah.
Even more, probably.
Even the fog again as well. There was a story of there was a fire in 1938.
There was a big fog that appears over Mount Shasta, like clouds form, and people say there's portals and all sorts coming out of that.
It seems to be like a protector or something, because there was a massive fire and it was going towards the mountain, and the fog come out, and apparently it stopped it. You could at the time you could actually see the line.
So do you think that the inhabitants of the mountain had protected themselves with some sort of energy to stop the fire?
There's been quite a few stories about fogs and stuff.
What I want to know,
quick change of the weather.
We've talked in the past about aliens potentially seeding this planet, or helping us out technologically.
Yeah.
So what's more likely, do you think? Aliens doing that, or a potential, form of civilization of humanity.
Another age of man.
Yeah, an age of man
Yeah.
that were taller, good looking, you know, very intelligent.
In the past, we would have been because there was more oxygen.
I'll be honest with you, right? Yeah, that sounds more likely. So, say like an age of man. We don't expect to, you know, we take precautions as a civilization, that if there was going to be a natural disaster or an earth-ending, like a world-ending event, that a certain percentage of our species would be protected. We've got safeguards in place for bunkers and all sorts,
For the rich.
So, for the rich, understandably, but what I'm getting at is there'd be a small sliver of percentage of humanity that'd survive, right? Into what? Who knows, But you'd be naive to think if there were other civilizations of man or civilizations of earth beings, and evolved to an extent where they had technology, that they wouldn't think of these things and have the same sort of safeguards.
Well,
so therefore, if their civilization ended and a new dawn of man, maybe a genetically engineered dawn of man that they seeded and potentially with the hybrids of them
of their development
of that development, not aliens. This earlier age of humanity, this other technological advanced civilization.
It could be both.
Maybe it could be, but it'd make more sense that we got this technology such as TV communications, crystalline, technologies. Space,
and why it's so
air
defensive
travel.
against Earth.
Who knows? Maybe it's more likely that there was a sub-civilization or a civilization before us that a percentage of it survived.
Yeah.
We talk about shadow governments.
Yeah.
I mean, who's got more vested interest than
Possibly.
in keeping the planet, in a good state than an even earlier form of our ancestors, basically?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, also
maybe I'm reading too much into it, but
also answer questions like pickaxes.
There
and
you
stuff
go.
like that. Clocks that are found.
They lived. So there you go. That we were seeded by Lemurians. Not ourselves. Potentially earlier, not an earlier civilization.
Well, then we're really downgraded ourselves, really, aren't we?
Well, no, we're just we're trying to catch up to them.
Yeah, but
probably they wouldn't want us to even know about them until we were on their enlightened level, because we're too violent as a species.
And that's an actual thing, supposedly, that the reason why we haven't learnt about aliens and that, because they don't wish the public to know about us.
Well, they're described quite of like the sort of those druid-style aliens, the whites or whatever they're called. Where they have sort of like they look a bit sort of Danish, sort of Nordics. That's the one. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe.
Oh well, you don't want to go near the kids with them ones. Apparently, because they're really vicious. The mums apparently are.
Eat your baby. Right. Well.
Vicious as fuck. Apparently.
Well, there you go. Mount Shasta. A lot going on in that mountain.
Yeah.
If you've got any comments or other stories, or a story that is linked to Mount Shasta, we didn't cover. Let us know. We'd be interested to find out.
Might even do a show on it.
Give us a shout.
Is that good? Yes.
Well, Mount Shasta is interesting. I thought, this Lemurian sort of civilization's quite. I think that it's got legs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Well, we're moving on because we've got some news. This week's news and main events, world events. There's been quite a few.
Yeah.
Already. And we'll get into that right about now. It's the news. Oh yeah. News. The news has been happening. We've been awash even.
We have. It has been raining quite a lot.
Awash with world events. There's just crazy stuff that's been happening in the world. I found quite several interesting stories. Going from UFO-y sort of stuff. I know we normally do that at the end.
Yeah.
But this isn't strictly UFOs, but cattle mutilations.
Oh.
Here we go. 6 cattle found dead in Texas, with their tongues missing. Yeah.
Nice.
And there's no evidence of a struggle, footprints, or tyre tracks.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? The grass around the carcasses was discoloured.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Is this standard stuff?
Yeah. The bones, when they do an autopsy, it'd be that it fell from a great height. There'd been no blood. Uterus taken out, like tongue and that. Just certain various parts, and it's always the same parts.
Well, it does sound like the plot of an X-Files episode. I do think, like, this stuff's not really been happening for a long time. I mean, we think
It's not been reported,
yeah. But I mean, this has been, this rancher found the mutilated remains of a 6-year-old longhorned cross cow on their property, and called the Madison County Sheriff's Office on Wednesday.
That's mad.
Crazy stuff, that, isn't it? I mean, is it aliens? I mean, are they coming back going, oh, we've missed the taste of cow tongue?
There has been an idea that it's Black Hawk helicopters.
Oh,
been picking them and then taking them away, and then...
Actually, I saw this thing about, like, these helicopters that put out forest fires. Yeah, where they were picking up sea creatures out of the oceans with the buckets, the Black Hawk helicopters.
Yeah.
And then when they were putting out the fires, they were like, throwing dolphins and stuff
into the fire,
into the jungle. So they were like, well, how the fuck did this jungle? How the hell did a dolphin or a whale get into the jungle? I don't know if that's real or not, or if that's actually happened.
I would imagine at least one.
Well, this is a difference, because this is a.
But it's down there. If it's generally lakes.
This is a cow. It's not. No, it's not frolicking in the waters, is it?
Well, some farmers have reported like big helicopters, but like no sound as well. So it's probably with no identification either.
Oh, but I do have an emergency announcement to make.
Right.
This is a recall. Recall of a product. Safety concerns announced after the recall of 2.2 million sledgehammers. Yeah, right. Because apparently, I think the DeWalt is it. DeWalt Stanley Craftsman name brand. So the sledgehammers are made by Stanley Black & Decker and are sold under the DeWalt Stanley and Craftsman brands name. Yeah, right. But apparently, what's happening is the head's loose. And people are using them, and they're fucking whacking themselves in the head, and knocking themselves out. Yeah, so they've said they've received 192 reports of sledgehammers detaching, and 2 reports of fatal sledgehammer injuries.
Oh shit!
To the head and face.
There's some claims there. Oh
wow!
Fucking hell.
So if you do own, if you've recently bought a DeWalt, Stanley, or Craftsman brand sledgehammer.
Sell it, go back to the shop.
Take it back. Take it back, boys. Take it back.
Or hit someone you don't like and sue him.
Yeah, they'll sue you. Say it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. Oh, well, yeah. Perfect murder weapon.
Hey,
I was there doing some hammering, and then all of a sudden,
me, bang, right in the face.
Damn. You get that on the next episode of How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, that's a bit.
Wow.
I reckon someone would try that.
Have you got any news that you want to talk about?
I have Dame Edna Edridge.
Yes, I saw this on the news. Yeah. Dame Edna.
Yeah, not far after Paul O'Grady as well.
I know,
He's gone.
Dame Edna Everidge, I remember from like early 80s, like being, she's been a staple on the TV since I was a kid. I mean, not so much in the recent years, but Dame Edna,
not over here.
Oh, Lovies. She had a personality, really flamboyant, really quite, very, energetic person, and it's a shame. Isn't it?
It's gonna be a loss, but like 89, I think, as well.
Still going though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, in terms of still
there.
kind of, entertaining and being Dame Edna.
Yeah.
And maybe kind of toned it back a bit, but she was who she was, and you can't knock that. She was a pioneer for her for her generation and stuff. So definitely a loss.
Yeah.
Shame, Paul O'Grady. I mean, he was actually talking about Paul O'Grady. There was a tribute in Manchester painted that was defaced, I think.
Right.
Yeah, on the Fallowfield Loop line, and then another one painted in Manchester City Centre. So, that'll stay there. Yeah, that'll be there. Found this story. This is things getting taken too far. Do you know the name Champagne?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Champagne's only allowed to be called Champagne because it comes from the Champagne province of France, but Belgium have taken fucking some... Belgium have, taken personal thingy to this because, like, they've ended up destroying a shipment of an American beer after taking issue with its name, or its slogan, saying it was the Champagne of beers. Now, I don't know whether that's to do with like because of the where it's from or whatever, but it's destroyed a shipment of American beer after taking, offence to the marketing slogan, saying that it was the Champagne of beers. Customers crushed over 2,352 cans of Miller High Life beer earlier on in the week.
They must have misread that and gone like, they're saying this is actually champagne in a beer can.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're saying it's to do with the champagne industry and complied with the terms that they should only be used on sparkling wine that is made in the method of champagne in France.
Yeah.
So, by having the name champagne on your bottle, on a drink, is it contravening the I mean, it's an import that it's going through customs, isn't it? So obviously the Belgian guys are obviously working at their their import export. And
they've
said
got
no,
EU laws.
It doesn't comply with the laws. It's saying it's
but you don't have to fucking destroy it.
Well, they're looking at it going, well, it's not white wine.
That's a waste, though. That's a waste. You're creating more waste.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them Belgians cracked a few cans open before they threw them in the crusher.
Definitely went a few.
Definitely took a few home. Yeah, let's say.
I
don't know. Beer. Well, the move came after a trade descriptions thing about the champagne industry. Yeah, so saying that it could only be used on bottles of sparkling wine made in the traditional method from Champagne in France.
That's some bullshit. That is just some. But I hope the company sues them for it, or tries and claims some, because you don't need to destroy it.
They were like that. It's Miller time.
Yeah. They didn't destroy it. They all had a fucking piece of it. That's what it was.
Well, there's a lot of crushed cans there, or empties, I should say. Anything else you want to discuss?
Oh, yeah, Texas. So, a police car has been told to respond to go to a lake because a fisherman has spotted something in the water. So, copper arrives, sees that it looks like it's a vehicle, a Jeep. So, calls the tow truck. Tow truck comes along, starts dragging it out. I think it was 40 foot. Starts dragging it out. So all of a sudden they've noticed there's a female body in there. And then a few moments later found that she's actually alive in there. Oh, God.
Yeah. Bloody hell, in the Jeep. Yeah. How long was she in there for?
Don't know. The report didn't put... I was looking for the data, but they didn't put any date on it. I don't even know. She was actually missing. She was actually in another state on a missing warrant looking for her. So she might have been there for quite a few days.
Jesus.
But then...
Well, she's alive, so hopefully she'll be able to tell us how long she's been in there. We'll get a bit more of an accurate report. At some point.
I'm going to look for more on that. Yeah,
Talking about accuracy.
Yeah.
I saw this story, which was pretty funny. The Russian Defense Ministry has been said that a fighter jet has accidentally bombed its own town.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this, yeah.
So, Belgorod, near the border of Ukraine, was bombed by its own planes.
Yeah.
Recently.
Is that the same place where it didn't go off?
It just says a powerful explosion was reported in Belgorod city centre after Russian telegram channels reported multi-storey buildings were damaged and in the region, whilst the governor said that 3 people were injured in the blast. So
See, he even hates his own people.
Can't even bomb
Yeah.
the right place.
Don't
do you know
it?
what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds like a competent guy you want in charge of things, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah. His generals
mind.
need a bit firing, I think, again.
But yeah, there was a
Getting
pair
in
of Russian Su-34 military jets taking part in an expedition flight. When was it an accident?
Expedition flight? Well, why are they carrying live ammo?
I don't know.
That's
know.
a
Who
bit
knows
of a-
why they do? Well, of course, they might do, just in case they get attacked.
Well, no, you'd
I
have
don't
planes
know.
stand by, but you wouldn't if you're doing a show. But then again, it's Russia, so
No, maybe.
yeah, you never know. The rules are different there, aren't they? Really?
Oh, got a job for you.
Oh yeah.
Found a job.
Oh man,
If you need a job, Blackpool Zoo are recruiting.
what doing?
They are recruiting human seagull deterrents.
Well, like get an eagle on your arm or
Well,
something.
no,
and then
you're
shoot it
dressing up as a big inflatable eagle.
off. Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
Nah.
and wandering around Blackpool Zoo, not only entertaining the kids, but keeping
animals?
away the pigeons and seagulls. Because
Oh,
they're not going to
yeah.
come down when they see a big hawk. So you're dressed like an
Wow,
eagle or a hawk, and, you know,
Yeah, they're gonna fuck
I
off.
can see the logic. Bit demeaning, but you know,
Why
but
not get a real
the
one?
zoo is trying out to recruit a team of people to wear bird costumes to scare away nuisance
Oh,
seagulls.
so not one, but a team.
No, a team of them,
Yeah,
a flock.
A flock of
A
birds.
flock of not a flock of seagulls, a flock of eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
So yeah, they want the flock of eagles. But you
Red
can't
arrows.
have it. Trademarked. You can't have it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, unless you come and see me. Blackpool's close. We can negotiate a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's got
right,
a deal
yeah.
on the table.
For the flock of eagles trademark, I'll make you t-shirts. Trust. Well, the flock of eagles cost. I keep saying it now.
Yeah, you do.
The eagles.
Yeah.
Will be, you know, because they're pissed off because the seagulls,
Yeah.
not to be confused with the eagles,
Yeah.
are stealing people's chips, right? They're known for
Oh,
it. The
yeah.
little bastards.
The fucking ice cream.
Stealing food from visitors. And not only visitors, but the animal enclosures themselves, which means that
Oh.
the animals that are being kept at the zoo aren't getting fed.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. Take its risk. Take its risk. After a little while, that animal's going to go, you know what? When that fucking bird goes down there, I'm going to catch that cunt.
Now, this is a legitimate job,
Yeah.
so those who are interested,
Take it serious.
you got to take it serious. Well, take it as seriously as you can be, but those taking
Yeah.
on the role would need to be outgoing and confident, comfortable wearing a bird costume,
Don't flap about it.
don't have a flap, yeah. So the advert reads, at Blackpool Zoo, goes without saying that we love all animals, and as a
flying
seaside resort, Blackpool's not so short on seagulls. However, the seagulls have proven a bit of a nuisance when it comes to trying to steal food from our visitors and animal enclosures.
And you got to bring your own ladder when you need to get up on the perch.
So we need to do what we can to keep seagulls away from the dining areas.
Fucking rifle. That'll stop the
No,
cunt.
this is it. But if you go to the interview and say, right, yeah, I'm up for the job,
Yeah.
I've got my own kit.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly, that's it.
cock your rifle.
How much a bird?
Do you reckon
Done.
they just escort you out
£2
of the building?
a bird. That'll be a
They'd be like,
millionaire.
no, this is not what we're after, sir.
Yeah, but
Can you please take your weaponry out?
after a while they're going to fuck off because there's a threat in that area. They're going to fuck off. I know.
Computer
Well, I
says
know
no.
some customers might get a bit of blood on them and that, but it's a bit of bird. That's
Wow,
all.
what's
I
going
don't
on? Why are all my news stories being access denied tonight?
Oh.
So yeah, so I've got one story that got access denied for legal reasons. It said, right? Oh well, yeah. So basically, it said that it was a story about a 5th grader, who applied to be the principal of Chef Joseph Elementary School.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that was quite nice.
Did they get the
I
job?
don't know, can't, because it says
Bastards.
451
I bet he got the
unavailable
job.
due to legal reasons. Right.
Yeah, he got
then
that
the
job.
next story, basically is the same thing. It basically says access denied. You do not have permission. Yeah.
You're breaking the Pentagon again.
No. Well, this is what the fuck. This was
dark
crab.
off?
This was a man who stole a load of crabs from Safeway. Now, wouldn't you
Why?
have liked to listen to that story?
I would have
There you go.
loved
You see
to
what I'm
heard
saying?
about the crabs.
Right. Well.
A lot of sea
Those
things.
stories and more are being denied, but I do have this story.
Yeah.
Right? This is crazy, right? We talked about identity theft.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and we've been talking about it, us two, actually, on a personal level recently. But this takes it to a whole new level. When a Russian woman gets 21 years, for poisoning a cheesecake, right?
All right.
And giving it to her US doppelganger.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, this Russian-born woman has been sentenced to 21 years in prison, in a US prison, for trying to kill her American lookalike. She basically poisoned a cheesecake and then tried to steal her identity. Yeah.
Now. Oh, what did she hide the body?
Wait, well, she didn't manage it. This is the thing. So it was ruthless and calculated. She was a con artist, and she's definitely going to prison for a very long time. She was trying to murder her way into profit and gain. Obviously, this woman who looked like her must have had a bit of money.
Yeah.
Obviously, a life she admired. But obviously, this Victoria Nashkarova has been convicted of attempted murder in New York.
She was going to end up getting fucked up over it anyway.
Well, she stole documents, valuable items, and obviously tried to kill the woman herself.
Family.
And how would she get away with this? I mean, what's she going to do? Start trying to go about her life like it was... Like, surely people would have noticed.
I lost my memory. I couldn't remember what I said last year.
I've got amnesia.
yeah. I don't remember where I was this time last year.
I love my president, Vladimir... Bush.
Yeah.
With Biden.
Fuck, that's like... that's... she's got some balls.
That is balls. Yeah. I mean, like you say, it was calculated and ruthless, and obviously she gets whatever she's what's coming to her. So I mean, how far would you go to try and? I mean, that's just abandoning your own life and trying to steal like somebody else's.
There's a lot of people. There was a few people out there who.
If you bumped into your doppelganger though, and they seemingly had a better life than you and more money in the bank, and you had the opportunity. I mean, you've got motive.
No, I do deal with him like you got a business meeting and you.
Oh, what I can step in for
I'll
you.
Step in, I'll sort your wife out.
I can be you Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And you go and do some work. You know what I mean? I make sure your wife gets home all right.
You want to go and play football with the lads? I'll go and take your wife to that opera that she wants to go see.
Exactly, get paid for it. Sweet as nuts.
Oh right, so you're like a doppelganger gigolo.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, there you go.
Sweeten the deal.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah, what would you do?
High five him. Hey, I don't know. What would you do? You'd freak out a little bit if you saw your actual physical doppelganger. My first inkling wouldn't be, I'm going to steal your identity because...
I'm going to murder you, bastard.
Maybe they're thinking that about me.
Oh, well, that's
what happens if they try and murder me? I was like, I only murdered him because he tried to murder me, officer. That would be the only way I'd murder him, if he tried to murder me first.
So he wouldn't accept any food, drink.
So if they turn around, no cheesecake.
No cheesecake.
No fucking cheesecake. If he came over and went, I've got a cheesecake, I'd go, get out.
Get out and I'd never want to see you again.
I don't care how handsome you are, get out.
Yeah. Or you could actually scam him by, let's say they went into a shop and dropped something off and then they fucked off and you walk in straight behind and get maybe information or, whatever they dropped off.
Oh, no, because look at those, like, scopolamine incidents where, like, people get influenced by a drug.
Yeah.
And they get forced to empty the bank account.
Oh, that monkey
And then, it's called, like, scopolamine or something like. It's one of the most evil drugs,
Yeah, it's fucked, man.
They empty the bank account, and then when they realise they've got no money in their account, they go to the bank, and the footage on the CCTV shows them taking it out.
Yeah.
So if you've got a doppelganger, it's like, could they just say, no, you drew it out, I saw you draw it out. And it's like, no, it wasn't me. It was my doppelganger. It's my evil twin.
Yeah.
Oh, we've heard that one before. He couldn't have been your evil twin because he didn't have a moustache.
You'd have to take risk like not having a mobile on you, make sure that they can't see. Well, the amount of cameras in this fucking country now was it 6,000 something like that.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of cameras.
There's a lot of cameras.
So, any news you want to talk about?
Have you seen this about Africa splitting into two?
what Africa A and Africa B?
Yeah, it's
Well, what's
the
that? What's
continent's
New
actually,
Africa going to be called? New Africa?
I don't know, you know.
Like,
Be interested to find out though, and who would want to stay and who would want to go.
that makes no sense. It's
Yeah.
like South Africa and just normal Africa.
Yeah, no, like the bottom half of Africa,
Yeah.
sideways, is being split.
They're
at the
splitting it
moment.
down the
It's
middle.
split.
Like
No,
I
it's naturally
Love
being
Lucy.
split.
Or one of those like odd couple scenarios where it's like, everything on this side of the line's mine, and you're not allowed
Yeah,
to come over my
there's-
side of the apartment.
There's massive cracks within Africa at the moment, like splitting it.
See what it's actually dividing?
Yeah, it's dividing
splitting
itself.
into two
Yeah.
continents.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Continental Drift Part 2.
Yeah, I'd say in about
Global warming,
about
apparently.
20 years, 30 years, it's possibly like there may be water going straight through it.
They just get a bridge.
Yeah. Well,
Well-
yeah, but then it'll be extending all the time.
I wouldn't
so
think
that bridge
they'd-
will have to
I
be
wouldn't
extended
think
all the
they'd
time.
have to name the country another country. It'd just be part of the country. It'd still be part of Africa.
Africa, off the coast of Africa. Where? Africa.
They just have a big channel in the middle.
Which one? The big one or the small one?
Well, it'd just be like maybe potentially like a really big channel or a lake in the middle that'd form.
Right,
Which would
well
actually
done.
be doing a good thing because they'd be bringing water to Africa,
Yeah,
to
but-
Central Africa. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Carry on.
But Madagascar's next to it as well, so you'll have the small one, then the small, and then the. No, you have a big one, a small one, and a diddy one.
Like
So it'd be
bears.
like in a
Like
row.
the three bears.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? If it's split Africa in the middle, then you bring in water to the middle of Africa. Problem solved.
Yeah, well, it's about 2/3. It's not exactly middle. It's about
Well.
2/3. But
Better than nothing. Stop moaning.
well, it might actually, to be honest, it might actually help the area.
Yeah,
in,
that's what
in
I'm
a way
saying.
with the water. Like
Well,
you
no, I
say.
mean, not for more for irrigation and stuff, and maybe because it's salt water at the end of the day. But I mean, you can get around that.
You could get new towns set up
I mean,
around there.
well, at the end of the day, right? So it's like for those guys who are like, right, it's 100 miles to the coast.
Yeah.
and I got to walk it.
Yeah.
and then
Fuck it, I'm waiting for
the
this
country
crack.
splits in half,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you've got like water on your doorstep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Got
Oh,
fish.
yeah. True.
Fresh fish.
True. yeah, very true.
Awesome.
When
Right.
will it take till
I
it's
bet they
big
can't
enough?
wait. I bet they're digging at the crack. Going, fucking come on.
But I reckon it'll end up being a busy lane because that crack will actually make it more easier for shipping to get through there.
Oh, there you
Which-
go.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
will
yeah.
pollute the newly formed rivers
That's
and whatnot.
true.
Crazy.
But then they can earn money from charging ships from going through. So it's catch-22.
It's a money spinner, isn't it?
It is,
It's
it always is
winner,
a
winner,
money
chicken
spinner.
dinner.
It is. Have you
it-
seen this in Australia as well?
Go on.
They had an eclipse over the week.
Did they?
Yeah.
How come no one else got it, but Australia got it? I suppose it's because where they are, isn't it?
Well, yeah, down under, aren't they?
Down under.
Down under spinning. But yeah, I'd love to see another eclipse. Have you ever seen one?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I have seen an eclipse. I've seen a couple of eclipses. Have you not
Yeah.
seen them? The problem with you, Taylor, and the reason why you've never seen an eclipse,
I have seen an eclipse.
well, you've seen one, yeah?
Well, I've seen about two.
Right, well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I've seen a few, but I was going to say the problem with you is probably the reason why you don't see eclipses because you're never up.
Oh,
when
yeah.
eclipses are happening, they don't normally happen at night, do they?
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're a night owl, like,
I
nothing
love
wrong
it.
with that, but you're not going to see many eclipses. You might see a shooting star.
I do see some today.
You might see more UFOs than normal.
Yeah.
People
oh,
do,
yeah.
and that's evident, but, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit up there.
There's a lot of weird. You just reminded me of when we went camping at Sprinkling Tarn.
Yeah, I was just
And
thinking
he was
that
like,
myself, looking up.
Gaz,
going, "Look, I can't
Gaz,
fucking
there's a
believe it."
UFO.
Yeah.
Go and have a look. And I'm in
Yeah,
bed.
Tell me in the morning.
I'm in
yeah,
bed.
yeah. I'm like,
I did get up though. I popped my head out the tent.
yeah,
Anyway,
you couldn't see it in your direction.
talking about UFO type stuff.
Yeah.
Got this story here.
Yeah.
Over Kiev, in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
This was a couple of days ago, actually. There was a blinding flash over Kiev. They're saying it was probably a meteorite, which is the Ukraine Space Agency saying they don't really know what it is, right? Even Zelensky posted a UFO
going
emoji
on.
on Twitter, right? Because he didn't know what it was, right? It was a beautiful blue flash, people described it as. One woman who was like, who was interviewed about it, said she actually had a dream that a UFO was over Kiev.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she kind of felt this enormous peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she woke up, she was a bit kind of confused at where she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, there was this bright blue flash of light in the sky. So do you think she was an abductee, potentially?
Potentially, yeah. Sounds like it, especially with like the inner peace thing. That, I mean, it's a classic. To be honest, it's a classic fucking abduction story.
Yeah, maybe she did. But they said that, you know, they thought that if it was aliens, they were there as a sign that they were winning and they were doing the right thing over there in the Ukraine. So,
well, like we could fucking stop them if we wanted to anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, all right then, whatever.
Any NASA news?
I have, yeah. SpaceX.
Go for it.
Well, they had
they had the launch. Yeah, didn't it blow up?
After 4 minutes, yeah, it fucked up.
Was this the Starship that they were launching? This was going to be the first go trying to get the Starship up.
Yeah, because I think the fourth one was going to be when they actually send astronauts up with it. But this was a test flight to see if it would actually be capable to go up, split apart, and both. The Starship to go around the Earth once, maybe twice, and then come back and land. But also the back end of it would actually, when it splits off, will come back down and land, which will make it a lot more safer and a lot more chance of being cheaper and more.
Well, if you don't know what it is, it's the SpaceX Starship. It was the biggest launch SpaceX have done in terms of it's the biggest ship that they've ever tried to launch. The SpaceX rocket made it partially through the first test, but it has the potential to change what we know about astrophysics, astronomy, as well as take people to the moon and even further on to Mars. So, you know, it's so interesting and something that we'll be looking at.
Yeah.
These things, they do have the speed bumps. No one's claiming that they're perfect.
Oh, yeah, well, actually...
Do you know what I mean? And obviously...
Companies are not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
And that's what where some people have said, like, well, why ain't they bothered about this? And it's like, it's to be expected, to be honest.
Yeah, if it went right the first time, I reckon they'd be more surprised.
Yeah. When they actually put someone in there and it goes and wrong...
Yeah, I found this article. Basically says the enormous Starship roared off the launch pad in southern Texas and then exploded before it reached space, ending the first major test flight of the largest rocket ever built. Starship and its boosters cleared the launch pad and soared 39 kilometers high, then rotated out of control and blew up 4 minutes into its flight.
It's got like loads of fucking engines. It's got like,
oh my god, how
like
much petrol
engines.
was on that shit? I mean, with rocket fuel, even hydrogen.
But apparently inside, it's massive inside. A lot of space.
It is. Well, the thing is about these Starships is this Starship's designed to stay in orbit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they can actually stay out in space for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And you know, so space is pretty much kind of needed, really, isn't it, to be able to fit all the people for transport and like luggage, as well as be able to do experiments and whatever else you need to do.
Well, I think we need to start actually building, you know, the parts for us.
33 engines it had. Yeah, all firing.
Massive amount of power was coming out of them. Apparently, biggest ever.
Yeah. So. What do you think's next? Do you think they'll crack it the next time?
Hopefully, yeah. They've got the information of what went wrong, or it might have been a UFO that shot it down.
Well,
never know.
I found this story here, a UFO bombshell.
Oh yeah.
Basically saying that a US Navy pilot who says he saw unknown objects pretty much daily.
Oh yeah, I heard about this the other.
So a former serviceman recalls seeing flashing lights, strange objects, and other mysterious evidence of UFOs whilst on duty. So this is a former US Navy pilot. Says he saw UFOs pretty much every day when he was serving. Lieutenant Ryan Graves spoke up about his time as a pilot with Squadron VFA-11, also known as the Red Rippers. And
Rippers?
Yeah, the Red Rippers.
Go on,
and they say that they were ripping around, and says his team regularly came across and came in contact with mysterious flying objects.
It doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
He recalls seeing flashing lights, strange-looking craft, and other unexplainable things. Mr. Graves added that he would often be listening to unidentified aerial phenomenon and see them, basically. Mr. Graves.
Just imagine 20 years ago that
he couldn't have said that. He would be like, "No, I didn't see nothing. Didn't see nothing."
You're a loony.
It's like it's just the G's messing with your fate, messing with your head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
What
not.
drugs are you on, mate?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Quaaludes.
You've got some fucking good shit there.
But
Like, fucking hell, yeah.
Valium,
Nightmare.
what else? I don't know. Fentanyl. Well, anyway,
yeah,
anything else you want to add?
No.
Is that it?
That
right,
is
well,
it.
that's the end of the news, I think,
It is.
for another week. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show. If there's anything that we've covered tonight that you were interested in and you want to leave us a comment, please feel free to do so. You can do that at the regular channels over on Twitter or on any of the platforms that we are listed on.
We're listed on a lot.
All of them, we're available on Spotify, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Castbox, many, many more. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're on there. Make sure you subscribe. We're available on Stitcher. That's another one we're available. And I think that's a good one. Check them out. Stitcher are decent. Where else? We're on YouTube.
We are, yes, we are.
You can check out videos and video podcasts over on there. We've done some live videos, so they're worth checking out. You can go over to the website at neverastraightanswer.co.uk. We're on Twitter at _NASA_never.
Yes.
And on Instagram at neverstraightanswer.
Yes, we are.
You can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.co.uk or .com. I keep fucking up with this shit. All the contact information, not done it for a few weeks.
On the website,
if you go to the website, you can go to the contact page. It's well easier. So get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back next week for another episode, or at some point.
Yes.
So make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And that's it for this week. So we'll catch you next time. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Out.